Good morning, kids. I know we sure miss you here, but we didn't want you all to go very long without seeing our puppets and worshiping. And so we are going to come to you live every week with the puppet show and our normal routine. We're going to have John Michael here playing a game. So get up out of your seats off the couch and let's dance. All right, kids, are you ready for our puppets? Let's see who we got today. I think we've got Emma being a news anchor.
Hello, my name is Emma. Welcome to Weirder, Things, a show that explores the strange, the unknown, and the just plain odd. My guest tonight is a chicken farmer who recently found some strange and unusual things in the chicken crop. Please welcome Miss Daisy.
Miss Daisy's here.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Tell us about your chickens.
Well, there's not much to tell. They're white, they're fat, and they make a lot of noise.
Oh, and recently they sent you a message.
They did. I normally get a couple eggs every morning.
What kind of eggs?
Well, they're normally white and brown, but this time I went to my old chicken, Miss Daisy, and she laid me this egg.
Oh, what a pretty color.
Yeah, and then I went to my chicken, Cindy, and she laid me this bright, shiny one.
Oh, my.
Yeah, and then I went to the next chicken, Snowflake, and she laid this pretty pink one.
Wow.
Yeah, I ain't never seen anything like it in my life.
Neither have I. As a matter of fact, those eggs don't even look like normal eggs. They look plastic.
They are, and there's something in every one of them.
Really?
Yeah, and this one, there's a donkey. And in this next one, the second one that I got from Cindy, there's a coin. And then the last one that I got from Snowflake, it has a cup in it.
Miss Daisy, this is amazing. Do you know what this means?
Well, if I knew, I wouldn't be here.
Well, who rode into town on the back of a donkey? And who was betrayed by a friend for 30 coins made of silver? And who took a cup and blessed it and passed it around saying, "Do this in remembrance of me"?
I don't know.
It was Jesus. Jesus is the Son of God. He rode into the city of Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, riding on a donkey like a king who had come in peace. He was betrayed by Judas, one of his 12 disciples who betrayed him.
Why'd he do that?
Because Judas didn't have God's plans in mind. He wanted Jesus to do things his way, the same way we do anytime we disobey God's word. Judas agreed to turn Jesus over to men who wanted to harm him for 30 pieces of silver.
Poor guy. What'd he do next?
Jesus knew that he was going to be betrayed and killed. That's why he took the cup and blessed it, saying, "This is my blood, the blood of the new covenant, which will be poured out for you. Do this in remembrance of me."
Wait. You mean to tell me that he knew he was going to die, he knew he was God, but he did it anyway?
It was all part of God's perfect plan. Jesus took our place while he died on the cross. He set the perfect example of obedience by following his Father's plan to sacrifice himself for us. It was a perfect example of love.
I get it now. The cup is a reminder of Jesus' obedience and his perfect love.
Sounds to me like your chickens wanted to give you something to help you remember all Jesus has done for you.
Well, I sure won't forget it.
I hope none of my viewers will either. Hope you'll come back and see us again.
You do? Why?
Because we're just now at the start of Easter, the time when we remember what Jesus did for us. I have a feeling your chickens have more to share with you.
Well, if they do, you'll be the first to know.
Well, we'll see you next time on Weirder Things.
All right, kids, I hope you all enjoyed this skit. I've got a question for you. What do a donkey, a coin, and a cup all have in common? It sounds like a joke, right? Does it sound like a joke, John Michael? Yeah. But does anybody know the punchline? No. What, John Michael?
They're all what Jesus did.
That's right. They all have something in common, and they all revolve around Easter. So Jesus rode into town on a donkey, and the people were throwing palm leaves. That's why we have Palm Sunday. The next, Judas, the betrayer of Jesus, was given coins in order to betray him. And lastly, the cup is a reminder of the sacrifice and the obedience that Jesus did, or that Jesus completed. So we're going to have John Michael come up now, and he is going to play a game. And in this game, I'll come back up there. So in these eggs, I have candy. And John Michael is going to have to guess what candy is in each egg. Can you do it?
No.
Well, I tricked you a little bit because these sound alike. So, I'll give you this one. Which one do you want first?
I'll take this one.
Okay.
I'm not looking. The Star Wars?
No. It is a caramel Cadbury egg. An Easter egg. Emma, that's your favorite candy, isn't it?
Yes, it is. That's why I'm so excited.
Well, we'll give this one to Emma. How about that? How about we give this one to Emma?
Thank you.
Which one do you want next?
I'll take this one. Are they the trolley eggs?
No. Open it up. Just don't open it like that. Open it the other way. How that works, please.
Oh,
Jelly beans. That's the perfect Easter candy, right? Everybody loves jelly beans. These are Jolly Rancher. They're my favorite. I think Marshall likes Jolly Rancher jelly beans, don't you, Marshall?
I love them.
All right, let's give these to Marshall. I bet you he can eat them as a snack later. All right.
yeah. I'll try this one. This one most definitely sounds like Star Wars.
Open it up.
Twix.
Twix. Who doesn't love Twix? This is one of my favorites. I'm keeping this one. All right. Last one. You think about it. Marshall, do you have a guess at what's in this egg?
I'm thinking Skittles.
Emma, do you want to guess what's in this egg?
Oh, I think M&M. It's like jelly beans. More jelly beans.
You think I'd do that to you? You think I'd put 2 eggs full of jelly beans? Open it up. Let's see. Open the other one.
Oh! It's Skittles.
Oh, Marshall was right.
Yeah.
Do you like Skittles? There you go. So I have a challenge for all of you kids at home. We want you all to still be as active and into children's church as you always are. Because I don't know about you all, Emma and Marshall, but I sure am missing our kids. I'm missing Luke and Travis and Grace.
Oh, me too. And I'm missing Lily and Cameron and Easton.
Marshall, who are you missing?
I miss Deacon and Ken and Kevin and Alexis.
Yeah, and we're also missing Andrea and Christopher. I'm missing all of our kids. Who else are you missing, Emma?
KK and Brooklyn and Grace and Kaden.
And you know who we're really missing all the way in Japan? We are really missing David and Jada. We can't wait to have them back with us. Marshall, did we get everybody? Are we missing anybody else?
Yeah, we're still missing Jackson and Hunter, Griffin, and I think Peyton.
Oh, yeah. We are definitely missing all of our kids right now. And we're just missing being in church together, aren't we?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are. Can't wait.
So we want to make sure that you all stay involved. And so I have a game for you. I want you all to play a charade. Ask your mom and dad to record you if you can. And I want you to act out your favorite Easter treat. So you're going to have to get creative. If you want to be a jelly bean, I guess you could roll up into a ball. But get really creative and post them on our Facebook page so we can see you all and we can still interact with you all through this time of having to be apart. So we are going to get into our lesson. And who knows that Easter is starting? How about you all? But I love Easter. It is one of my favorite. One of my favorite holidays. So I asked you earlier what a donkey, a coin, and a cup all have in common. And so we're going to give you those answers out of the Bible. So first I'm going to read you all Mark chapter 11, verses 1 through 11. And it says, "Now when they drew near Jerusalem to Bethphage at the Mount of Olives, he sent 2 of his disciples. And he said to them, 'Go into the village opposite of you. As soon as you have entered it, you will find a colt tied on which no one has sat. Loose and bring it. And if anyone says to you, "Why are you doing this?" say, "The Lord has need of it, and immediately he will send it here." So they went their way and found the colt, or the donkey, and tied it by the door outside of the street, and they loosed it. But some of them who stood there said to them, "What are you doing, loosening that colt?" And they spoke to them just as Jesus had commanded, so they let them go. Then they brought the colt to Jesus and threw their clothes on it, and he sat on it. And many spread their clothes on the road, and others cut down leafy branches from the trees and spread them on the road. Then those who went before them and those who followed cried out, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. Blessed is the kingdom of our father David that comes in the name of the Lord. Hosanna in the Most High." And Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple. So when he had looked around at all things, as the hour was already late, he went out to Bethany with the 12. And so our donkey here is more than what you think. It's more than just transportation for Jesus. In those days, if a king rode into town on a horse, it meant he was there for war. But we know Jesus wasn't there for war. So he rode a donkey, which is a symbol of peace. So it shows that Jesus came to the world to bring peace. And those branches, last Sunday was Palm Sunday. And we call it Palm Sunday because it's a week before, we're not on Palm Sunday, I'm sorry. Palm Sunday is a week before Easter. So the Sunday before Easter, we call it Palm Sunday because that was the week that Jesus entered Jerusalem and they threw palm leaves down on the ground for him to ride in on. So next, if you all remember, we had what? What do we have, Emma? Was it a cup or a coin?
What was it? I think it was a coin.
Yes, you are absolutely right. So let's find out what the coin has to do with Easter. We are going to read from Matthew chapter 26, it's verses 14 and 16. And it says, "Then one of the 12, called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and said, 'What are you willing to give me if I deliver him to you?' And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. And so from that time he sought opportunity to betray him." Did you imagine that? Jesus was sold out for 30 pieces of silver. But so why would somebody do that? Judas walked with Jesus every day for 3 years. He listened to his teaching. He walked with him. I think our answer there, do you know why? Marshall or Emma, do you all know why Judas would sell out Jesus?
That was so sad.
It was. It breaks my heart.
I think he just wanted the money.
What do you think, Marshall? Do you think Judas thought Jesus wasn't doing the right things? He wasn't going to save Israel the way Judas thought he would, did he?
No, I think Judas just wanted things his way.
Absolutely. But we're kind of like Judas every once in a while, aren't we? Sometimes we can be a little bit selfish and we disobey God because we want to do things the way we want to do them. What do you think, John Michael? Yeah, sometimes we can be a little bit selfish. So we're all guilty of being like Judas because we are sinful by nature. We're selfish by nature. And that all started back in the Garden of Eden. But Jesus didn't do that. He was obedient. He was perfect. And he followed the will of the Father. And so what was our last thing? Marshall, do you remember what our last egg had in it?
Well, we talked about the donkey that he rode on, and we talked about the coin that Judas took, so it has to be a cup.
Yep. He is absolutely right. Marshall's so smart, our fire cup. Can everybody give Marshall a hand? Oh, but we can't leave out Emma. Shh, I might hurt him. He's smart. Why, will he get a big head? Yes, I have to live with that. Nobody likes a big-headed fire cup, do they?
No.
So, our cup we're going to read about in Matthew 26, verses 17 through 30. And it says, "Now on the first day of the feast of the unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus saying, 'Where do you want us to prepare for you to eat the Passover?'" What do you think Jesus told them? Emma and Marshall are so smart, I bet they could help with the lesson. What do you all think?
I don't know. Since Marshall's so smart, answer that question, Marshall.
Did we get a little too smart, Marshall? Okay. And he said, "Go into the city to a certain man and say to him, 'The teacher says, my time is at hand. I will keep the Passover at your house with my disciples.' So the disciples did as Jesus had directed them, and they prepared the Passover. When evening had come, he sat down with the 12. Now as they were eating, he said, 'Assuredly I say to you, one of you will betray me.'" Who betrayed them? Can you all tell me? Who?
Judas.
Marshall, is that right?
That's right.
They are absolutely right. So the disciples, "Surely one of you betrayed me." And they were exceedingly sorrowful. And each one of them began to say to him, "Lord, is it I?" I bet it was Marshall. You think it was Marshall? Or was it Emma? No, it wasn't either one of them. They weren't here then. He answered and said, "He who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes just as it is written of him. But woe to the man that by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been good for that man if he had not been born." Then Judas, who was betraying him, answered and said, "Rabbi, is it I?" And he answered, "You have said it." And as they were eating, Jesus took the bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to the disciples and said, Emma, do you know what Jesus said about the bread?
Oh, was it in his body?
Yes, she's so smart. "Take, eat, this is my body." Then he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, Marshall, do you know what he said about the cup?
Was it something to do with his blood?
You were right too. "Drink from it, all of you, for this is my blood of the new covenant, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. But I say to you, I will not drink of this fruit of the vine from now on until the day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom." And when they had sung a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives. So as you all can see, Jesus knew that the only way to save us was through the cup and through his suffering. I don't know how many of you all, Emma, do you think that you could know that you were going to be hurt and still do it?
That would be hard. I don't like pain.
What about you, Marshall? Do you think that you could face even a little bit of what Jesus faced? Do you think that you could go out and be mocked, knowing that what lay ahead of you?
I couldn't even imagine it.
That's really hard, kids. I mean, I don't know about you all, but it hurts my feelings when people talk about me. It hurts my feelings, and I really don't want to get hit. But Jesus knew all of this, and he still did it because he loves you, and he loves me, and he loves John Michael, and he even loves Emma and Marshall. That he did all of this so that we could spend eternity, forever and ever and ever, more time than you could ever imagine, in heaven with him. And so, as we begin the Easter season, I want you all to think about a choice that we all have to make. We can either have to have things our way, like Judas, and do things that God told us not to do and do things to disobey God, or we can obey God and we can live forever in heaven. You know, it seems like an easy choice, but sometimes the choice isn't so clear. But I want you all to remember as we go into the Easter season that just like today, each week we're going to have resurrection eggs. We can call them Easter eggs, we can call them resurrection eggs. But each week from now until Easter, we're going to have something, a great message hidden in what is normally a sweet treat. I know Marshall and Emma got a sweet treat today, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to eat mine. And I may even take Marshall's later.
My jelly bean.
What about you, John Michael? Have you enjoyed today? You going to go eat all your Skittles? Okay. Remember, kids, we love you. We miss you. And don't forget to play our game. Everybody who stays interactive, you'll have a great surprise when we come back. And we may even have a party because we miss you all so, so much. We love you, and God bless.